If I could mention it again, I just want to. If I could mention it again, I just want to point out we have some very fine sponsors who make this show possible, and among them, we have Western States Bus Services, where they are hiring part-time bus drivers right now, split shifts, 5 days per week, summers off, and scheduled no school days. The pay is $10.75 an hour. You can apply today by contacting, and I'll give you the number twice, 733-8003. That's 733-8003. Western States Bus Services is an equal opportunity employer. Hey, just a quick mention. Trip Family Medicine, we're going to be getting started here in just a couple of minutes with them. And we've got a switch going on. Physician assistant Russell Singleton will not join us this morning, but we'll have the doctor himself who'll be dropping by, Dr. Jonathan Tripp. So we're looking forward to that in just a few minutes. Also, right after the 9 o'clock news today, I am going to be joined by Chris Talkington from the Twin Falls City Council. And if you have any questions about events in the city or issues in your neighborhood, that could be, a sidewalk or a tree problem or something else along those lines, feel free to give us a shout. Quickly, I wanted to mention something. I may not get to it later in the show, so I get an opportunity right now. There was a story on the AP Wire caught my attention right away. This comes out of the state legislature, a bill clarifying that Idahoans can carry concealed weapons outside city limits without a permit has passed the Idaho House. An earlier version removed the exemption that allows lawmakers and government officials to carry concealed weapons without a permit, but the exception was put back in after lawmakers on the House's powerful State Affairs Committee said the bill would die without it. In other words, we're special. Funny. They come around and they say, we need your vote. We're here to serve you. We're public servants. You can't get these same benefits, but they get them. Why? Well, we're special. I had a state legislator many, many years ago. Luckily, it wasn't somebody from Idaho. Tell me, he said, you don't know how hard we work. He was getting angry with me because I was criticizing something on the air that he was involved in. And I said, you're telling me you work harder than a guy who's got a pack on his back going through a mountain pass in Afghanistan? You're telling me you work harder than a dairy farmer? You're telling me you're working harder than a truck driver? And with that, he got even angrier with me. This whole notion, you wanted the job. You wanted the job. You came to us and you said, I am going to do this job for you. And that's the promise you made to me. And then you go off and you make sure that you feather your own nest, or you make sure that you pass a law that allows you to do something that the rest of us can't. How in blazes does that work? You've got people serving in Congress who have ensured that their children's student loans are going to be paid off by you. You don't get the same benefit. Yeah, but I'm special. I've got all of these people fawning all over me. I deserve it. See, that's what we're dealing with here. Even some very good people in government fall into this trap. More of the story says the bill also adds set guidelines for safety courses and fees. Ooh, revenue. You know how your local government likes that? That counties can charge for permits. Oh, revenue. It's like that big plant and little shop of horrors. Feed me! We've got a government that just simply continues to look for ways to squeeze more money out of you. The bill now goes to the Senate for approval. And all of this being done in the waning days of this legislative session. And they get the bills plunked down on their desks. You know how this works, because it works this way in state governments and in federal governments. They come in and somebody drops a bill down and the leader gives a nod yes or no. And a lot of these people who are serving under the leader have no opportunity to take a look at what's being presented. They have to do the Nancy Pelosi, pass the bill so they can read it and find out later on what's in it. 8:38, you're listening to Bill Colley this morning on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. And as I mentioned, Dr. Jonathan Tripp will be joining us in the next segment of the program. And he'll be taking some, potentially calls from you too as well. So I just want to share that with you. And I hope that you can also stick around in the next hour. Speaking of politicians, we'll spend a few minutes with Chris Talkington from the Twin Falls City Council. And I tell you what, on the local level, government is usually your best. And that is because you see these people in the stores, you see them on the streets, and it's easier to get to their meetings. Going to Boise is a lot tougher. Going to Washington is even tougher than that. That's a huge commitment, and it's going to be costly for you. But generally, to go to a city council meeting on a Monday, not an issue. Simply just drop in, and you can sit down and listen. Most people who do most of the complaining about government would never go to a meeting. That's the odd thing, isn't it? When you hear this type of discussion, the people who do the most complaining don't like to sit through the meetings. That was what I found when I was younger. And I used to have to sit through those meetings as a young reporter. And I would sit through hours and hours of these meetings, hours and hours on end, passing notes back and forth to other reporters just to try to amuse ourselves. Not usually at the expense of the people we were covering, though, but still, you had to slap yourself every once in a while to keep awake. Coming up on 8:40. And I do want to mention quickly, we're going to have another chilly night overnight. But things temperature-wise are going to start to warm up now that we've had a couple of days of rain, and we're looking for a really nice stretch of weather through the beginning of next week. Warmer temperatures, lots of sunshine.